Hi. So let's solve today's problem. First non-repeating character in a stream. And in this problem, we have been given a stream, not a string, of n character. A stream is nothing but the characters will be coming one by one. So for example, if this is A, B, C, so first the A will come, then A, then B, then C, all right? So that's the stream for you. And so let's continue that we have been given an input stream A of n characters consisting of lowercase alphabets. Okay, so the input is of lowercase. And while reading these character from the stream, I have to tell that which character has appeared only once in the stream up to that point. Okay, then if there are many characters that have been appeared only once, you have to tell which one was the first one to appear. So let's understand this problem through a Jamboard, right? So what they have said is, now let us look at the very first test case, A, B, and C. All right. So first this A comes in, right, as input. So we have A as our answer. Next, this A comes in. So this is a repeating character, right? This A is a repeating character. So we can't include it in our answer. So what we have to do is, if there are no such characters, then append hash in our answer. So we have to append hash because till this point we have AA. So the characters in our input is double A and they are repeating. So we simply append hash means up to this point, suppose this was 0, 1, 2, and 3. So up to 1, there is no character which is non-repeating. So let's continue. We move on to B, and at B, we have B as a non-repeating character. So we'll append B in our answer. Now moving on to C. So we have still B as a first non-repeating character. We have C as a non-repeating character, but the very first not non-repeating character is still B. So our answer is A hash BB. So what I'm going to do is, since you can see that we had the non-repeating characters B and C, but we still chose B because it came first. So I get the intuition to use the Q. So since it follows first in, first out fashion, all right. So whichever element comes first in the queue will be included in our in my answer. All right. And for frequency means in order to keep the record of the frequency of element, which means a number of times how the number of times the element has occurred. I will use a frequency array. All right. So what I'm going to do is first create a frequency array of size 26 and initialize with 0. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is declare an answer string, which I'll be returning. And now the queue of data type character. Now, I simply be iterating over this screen. Now, what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'll be keeping the record of the frequency. All right. So A of I minus A plus plus. So if A comes in, so this is nothing but frequency of A of I minus A, right? And this gets incremented every time. So A of I is nothing but first A comes in. So for A minus A is nothing but 0, right? So frequency at the 0th index will be incremented to 1, all right? So A's frequency will become 1. Now, again, A comes in. So A minus A is again 0, and it was previously 1, right? So it will be incremented to now 2. And then B comes in. So B minus A is 1. So this subtraction is calculated on the basis of ASCII values. All right. So A's ASCII value is 48, and we are subtracting A again. So 48 minus 48 is 0. So it's not A minus B. It's actually means it's not B minus A. It's actually 49 minus 48. All right. So you have to remember ASCII values for that. Now, since I have kept a record of frequencies, now I'll push only those elements whose frequency is 1, which means the characters who have appeared only once, I'll push it in my queue. So if my bad, if frequency is 1, then push it into the queue. Say off, right? Now, what I have to do is I have to, if for example, if it was A, B, and C. So what I'm going to do is first the frequency of this element is 1, right? This has appeared once, so I'll push it into the queue. Now the frequency of this element has now become 2, right? So what I'm going to do is, since my queue will be include only those characters whose frequency is 1, and this A has the frequency 2. So I'll simply remove it from my queue. All right. So what I'm going to do is, while my queue is not empty, so, and my frequency of the very first character in my queue is greater than 1, I'll simply pop it out. Now what I have to do is simply append, if there are characters in my queue, suppose at this point there are two A's, right? And I have popped out this A from my queue. So my answer would be, since there are no characters in my queue, now since I have popped out the very first character A, so I'll simply append hash in my answer since there are no characters to in my queue, right? So I'll simply if queue dot empty answer plus equals to hash. Else, if there are characters, answer plus equals to queue dot front. Right. So at last, I'll return my answer. Okay, let's compile and run. Yeah, I found one error. Let's submit. Okay, thanks.